Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources and, well, we dig into them to unearth the most fascinating insights. Today, we're diving into something really quite unique: ancient monastic law.
Yeah, it sounds maybe a bit dry, but we have this specific text, Pārājika, number 2, and it tells a compelling story. It's not just rules on a page.
Exactly. It's about community, responsibility, and interestingly, the consequences of silence within a spiritual order.
It really is a window into how rules were actually formed in these early Buddhist monastic communities. Not just theoretically, but hammered out through real-life events. So our mission really is to understand the specific incident that led to this pretty significant rule for Buddhist nuns, the bhikkhunīs.
And what that tells us about their values, their challenges back then.
Precisely.
Okay, let's unpack this. So this deep dive takes us way back. We're talking time of the Buddha in Savatthi, specifically at Jetavana, which was Anathapindika's monastery.
That's the setting, a well-known place in the Buddhist tradition.
So our story kicks off with a bhikkhunī named Sundarīnandā. The text tells us she became pregnant.
Yes, with Miguranada's son.
Right.
And apparently she managed to hide it for a while, while the fetus was still young. Exactly. But eventually, Pārājika vijai. When the pregnancy was mature, she gave birth.
Which, in that context, that's a huge deal.
Oh, absolutely. A clear violation of monastic vows. It's an incredibly serious matter within that kind of community. A Pārājika offense, really, grounds for expulsion.
Right. And here's where it gets, for me, really interesting. Other nuns, other bhikkhunīs, they approached another bhikkhunī, Thullanandā, and they basically asked her, hey, Sundarīnanda just gave birth. Is she still like one of us? Still a bhikkhunī?
In Thullanandā, she confirmed that yes, Sundarīnanda was still considered a bhikkhunī.
Which raises the immediate question, why ask her? What did Thullanandā know?
Well, the text puts it quite directly later on when she's confronted. It says something like, why did you, knowing that this bhikkhunī had committed a Pārājika offense, why did you neither admonish her yourself nor report her to the assembly?
Okay, so the text confirms she knew. She knew it was a serious, expellable offense.
Yes, no ambiguity there.
So Thullananda's explanation for why she kept quiet, it's pretty striking.
It really is. She essentially said, and this is paraphrasing the Pali, her disgrace. That's my disgrace. Her loss of fame, her loss of honor, her loss of gain, those are my losses too.
Wow.
Yeah. She finishes by asking, why would I announce my own disgrace, my own lack of fame, my own loss of honor and gain to everyone else?
So connecting that to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
she felt that bringing Sundarīnanda down would somehow damage her own reputation?
Exactly. It's a very human, maybe self-protective motivation for staying silent. She didn't want the negative splashback, the consequences landing on her.
That feeling of her shame is my shame, it speaks volumes about the interconnectedness they felt, maybe, but also that basic human instinct to protect oneself.
It does. It shows this wasn't just about abstract rules. It was about reputation, relationships, gain, loss. Very real-world concerns, even within a monastery.
So how did the rest of the community react, especially those who were, really strict about the rules?
Well, the text mentions the Apicca bhikkhunīs. Those are the ones described as desiring little, scrupulous, conscientious.
The dedicated ones.
Right. And they were not happy. They were displeased. They complained. They asked, essentially, how could Thullanandā know about something this serious and not say anything, not try to correct it or at least report it?
So for them, it was about the integrity of the whole sangha, the community.
Absolutely, the ethical compass of the order. This silence was seen as a threat. So these Apicca bhikkhunīs, they then took the matter to the bhikkhus, the monks.
Escalating it.
Yes. And the bhikkhus, in turn, informed the Buddha himself.
So it went right to the top. What did the Buddha do?
He assembled the monastic community, the bhikkhu sangha, and questioned Thullanandā directly. Put her on the spot.
Did she admit it?
She did. She confirmed the truth of the situation.
And the Buddha's reaction?
He admonished her. He basically said that actions like hers concealing a major offense are not good for the community. They don't inspire faith in people who are outside, and they don't strengthen the faith of those who already believe. It undermines the whole system.
Makes sense. So out of this specific incident, this whole drama, a new rule emerges.
Precisely. The Buddha then laid down a new training rule, a sikkhapada, specifically for the bhikkhunīs. It's called Vajjapaṭicchādikā,
Which means...
concealing an offense.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of this rule. What exactly did it say?
It's actually quite detailed. The core is this. If a bhikkhuni janati, if she knows that another bhikkhuni has committed a pārājika, one of those major expellable offenses.
Right, the really serious ones.
Yes, and she is atanapaikadeyunana. She doesn't admonish the offender personally. Nagachasya, nor does she report her to the assembly, the other bhikkhunīs.
So, knowing, not admonishing, not reporting, that sounds like the offense.
But there's a crucial condition added. The rule gets really specific here. It applies if yadaka sa ihita asakota ba nasita ba avasayas, which means after the original offending bhikkhuni is either still in her status, ihita, or she's dead, kuta, or she's been driven away or left, nasita, or she's gone over to another teaching, avasai.
Okay, so after the original offender is basically out of the immediate picture in some way.
Exactly. Then, if the bhikkhuni who knew all along, she then says something like, oh yeah, I knew back then that sister so-and-so was like this, but I didn't admonish her or report her.
Whoa. Okay, so the offense isn't just the initial silence, it's knowing, being silent, and then later, after the dust settles, admitting you knew all along but did nothing.
Precisely. That's the specific act that triggers this particular Pārājika offense for the concealer. Very nuanced definition of complicity.
So what happens to her, the one who concealed and then later admitted it?
She herself becomes Pārājika. She commits an offense of the same gravity as the original one she concealed. And the text uses this really powerful image. Sayathapi nama pantupalaso bantana pamuto abahabu haritataya.
Meaning?
Just as a yellow fallen leaf separated from its stem cannot become green again. It's irreversible.
Wow. That's final.
It signifies she's no longer considered a true ascetic, asaman, or daughter of the Sakyas, asakyarita, that term of respect. She becomes asasa.
Which means?
Cannot live in communion. Basically expelled from the monastic community. The same fate as the original offender.
That seems incredibly strict. It makes you wonder, were there any exceptions? Any situations where silence wasn't treated so harshly?
Yes, absolutely. The text is quite practical here and outlines antati or non-offenses. It explicitly states it's not an offense if you don't report because you genuinely fear it would cause major problems in the community.
Like what kind of problems?
Things like sagasa bunch na vakalau hova viga hova vivadova quarrels, strife, disputes, or even race. Sagapedo va sagaroji va, a full-blown schism or division in the sangha.
So if reporting might actually tear the community apart, silence might be excused. That's pragmatic.
It is. It shows a concern for the greater communal harmony. Also, it's not an offense if you fear the person you'd report is like harsh or violent and might actually harm you or prevent you from practicing. Self-preservation again, but this time seen as a legitimate reason. Yes, if there's a real threat. Other exceptions include not seeing any other suitable bhikkhunis around to report to, genuinely having no intention to conceal the offense. Maybe you intended to act but couldn't.
Yeah.
Or if you believe the truth will come out anyway through the person's own actions.
Like their bad karma will catch up with them.
Sort of, yeah. That seems to be the idea. And finally, standard exceptions for those considered insane, amadikaya, or for the very first person to break this specific concealment rule, adikamikaya, they wouldn't have known it was a rule yet.
Okay, so it's definitely not a simple you must report everything instantly rule. There's a real layer of judgment involved, weighing the offense against potential greater harm or genuine inability to act.
Exactly. It's nuanced.
What a deep dive. This story behind the Vajjapaṭicchādikā rule, it's much more than just ancient law. It really feels like a timeless human drama.
It does. It shows this tension between individual responsibility, communal integrity, and, well, the sometimes messy reality of human motivations like fear and self-preservation.
It's not just about reporting, is it? It's about what holds a community together, what integrity means, and when silence crosses the line into something damaging.
Absolutely. This whole incident reveals how seriously these early Buddhists took the idea of communal purity and preventing internal decay. But, importantly, they also seem to have recognized the complexities, the potential for rules to cause unintended harm if applied too rigidly.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What are our own obligations to the communities we belong to when we see something wrong?
Yeah, and perhaps more pointedly, when does our own silence, maybe chosen for comfort or fear, or even a misplaced sense of loyalty, start to become complicity? When does it erode the very values we think we're part of?